The venomous spine glistened in the sterile light of the medical bay as it pierced through Gabriel Porter's forearm. His scream echoed against the metallic walls of the research vessel Artemis, currently docked at the edge of the Cygnus Nebula's outer rim. The alien creature, a writhing mass of tentacles and barbs that the science team had designated as Specimen X-17, thrashed violently in its containment unit before the security protocols finally activated, sealing it away. "Hold him down," shouted Dr. Zorlak, the ship's chief medical officer. The Vrexian physician's 4 upper limbs moved with practiced precision as he attempted to assess the damage. His iridescent scales shimmered under the harsh lights as he leaned closer to examine the puncture site, which was already turning an alarming shade of purple. 2 of the medical assistants, 1 human, 1 Centaurian, pinned Gabriel's shoulders to the examination table as he convulsed. The venom was working fast. "How bad is it?" gasped Gabriel through gritted teeth, sweat beading on his forehead. The pain was unlike anything he had experienced before, like liquid fire coursing through his veins. Dr. Zorlak's compound eyes narrowed, the multiple facets reflecting Gabriel's contorted face. "The venom is from a Zalathrax beast. It is coursing through your system rapidly." The alien's voice was clinical, emotionless. "I must be honest with you, Mr. Porter. No one, not even my species with our advanced biology, survives that venom. The neurological damage will be irreversible within minutes." The medical bay fell silent except for the beeping of monitoring equipment and Gabriel's labored breathing. The human assistant's face paled and she stepped back, seemingly accepting the inevitable, but Gabriel wasn't ready to die. Not here, billions of miles from Earth. Not after everything he'd survived. With trembling fingers, he reached for the specialized pouch attached to his belt, standard issue for all xenobiologists working in the field. "Wait," he wheezed, his vision already starting to blur at the edges. "I have something, Doctor." Zorlak tilted his elongated head. "Whatever you have will not help. The toxin is breaking down your neural pathways as we speak." Gabriel managed to unzip the pouch and pull out a compact metallic case with Earth's Interstellar Research Division logo emblazoned on it. "Antivenom kit," he explained, shoving it toward the doctor with his good arm. "Standard issue for all field researchers from Earth." The Vrexian doctor took the kit with visible skepticism. "Human, this is futile. No species has developed an effective counter to Zalathrax venom. It is why the creature is classified as a Class 5 hazard throughout the galaxy." Despite the agony ripping through his body, Gabriel found the strength to grab Dr. Zorlak's scaly wrist. "Just use it, please." The doctor hesitated, then clicked a sound of resignation. "Very well. Though I must note this is merely prolonging your suffering." He opened the kit to reveal a series of color-coded vials, precisely arranged alongside a specialized injector gun. "The blue one," Gabriel managed, his words slurring as the venom progressed. "Synthetic broad spectrum. Designed for neurotoxins, with protein disruptors." Dr. Zorlak's assistant handed him a scanner which he waved over Gabriel's wound. The readings caused the alien's eyes to widen slightly. "Fascinating. The venom profile is similar to what we call a type 7 neurogenerative toxin." With careful movements, the doctor loaded the blue vial into the injector. "I should warn you that introducing an unknown substance into your system while it's already compromised by venom could accelerate your death." Gabriel could barely focus now, his vision tunneling. "Just do it." The needle pierced his skin near the wound site, and the antivenom entered his bloodstream with a cold rush that made him gasp. For several long seconds, nothing happened. Then the pain intensified tenfold, causing Gabriel to arch his back and scream. "His vital signs are destabilizing," the Centaurian assistant reported, their voice tinged with alarm. Dr. Zorlak stepped back, all 4 hands raised in a gesture of helplessness. "As I predicted." The human remedy is incompatible. Then, just as suddenly as it had intensified, the pain began to recede. Gabriel collapsed back onto the table, panting heavily. The monitors showed his heart rate stabilizing, though still dangerously elevated. "That's impossible, Doctor." Zorlak muttered, moving forward to scan Gabriel again. The venom degradation has slowed significantly. Gabriel managed a weak smile through his pain. Earth species, we evolved alongside some of the deadliest venomous creatures in the galaxy. Our scientists have been developing antivenoms for centuries. But this is not an Earth creature, Dr. Zorlak insisted, his scientific curiosity overriding his earlier certainty. How could your scientists have developed an antivenom for a species you've never encountered? Not species-specific, Gabriel explained, feeling strength gradually returning to his extremities. Based on toxin types, molecular structures, across a broad spectrum of known and theoretical neurotoxins. The purple discoloration around his wound was slowly receding, replaced by an angry red inflammation that, while painful, wasn't deadly. Fascinating, Dr. Zorlak murmured, running another scan. The antivenom appears to be binding to the toxin molecules and neutralizing them. But you're not out of danger yet, Mr. Porter. The venom has already caused significant damage to your peripheral nervous system. Gabriel nodded weakly. I know, that's why there's a second part to the treatment. He pointed to a green vial in the kit. Neural regenerative compound helps repair damage from neurotoxins. Dr. Zorlak picked up the green vial and examined it skeptically. Human medicine has achieved neural regeneration at this scale. This technology is beyond even Vrexian medical science. Not complete regeneration, Gabriel clarified, his speech becoming clearer as the antivenom continued to work. But it stimulates the body's natural repair mechanisms and provides building blocks for neural recovery. We developed it after studying the regenerative capabilities of Earth creatures like axolotls and certain invertebrates. After running a quick analysis on the compound, Dr. Zorlak loaded it into the injector. The readings suggest this should be compatible with your physiology, but I must warn you your condition is still precarious. I understand the risks, Gabriel replied, gritting his teeth as the needle pierced his skin again. The effect was less dramatic this time, a gentle warmth spreading from the injection site up his arm. The pain didn't disappear, but it dulled to a manageable throb. Remarkable, Dr. Zorlak observed, watching the monitors. Your neural activity is stabilizing. The compound appears to be working as you described. For the next hour, Gabriel lay on the examination table as Dr. Zorlak and his team monitored his condition. The Vrexian physician asked numerous questions about the antivenom kit, making detailed notes on his data pad. You realize, Doctor. Zorlak said eventually that you have just survived something that has killed every other known species exposed to it. Gabriel managed a weak laugh. Lucky me, not luck, the alien doctor corrected. Your species' medical technology in this specific area is impressive. I would like to formally request information about this antivenom technology to share with the Interstellar Medical Council. I'll need clearance from Earth Command, Gabriel replied, but I don't see why not. Saving lives transcends species boundaries. Indeed, Dr. Zorlak agreed. Now you must rest. Your body has undergone severe trauma and needs time to recover. Gabriel was moved to a recovery pod where the ship's automated medical systems would monitor him overnight. As the sedatives took effect, he couldn't help but smile at the thought of Dr. Zorlak's face, as much as a Vrexian face could express surprise when he had pulled out the antivenom kit. It wasn't the first time human preparation had saved his life, and in the unpredictable frontier of space, he doubted it would be the last. The following morning, Gabriel awoke to find Dr. Zorlak standing over him, running a diagnostic scan. Your recovery is proceeding faster than anticipated, the alien doctor noted, his compound eyes focusing and refocusing as he studied the readings. Though you will still require significant rest and rehabilitation. Gabriel tried to sit up but winced as pain shot through his arm. The wound site was now bandaged, but he could see the skin around it was still inflamed and discolored. How long until I'm back on my feet? He asked, falling back against the pillow, for a full recovery. At least 2 standard weeks, Dr. Zorlak replied. The neural regenerative compound in your kit is impressive, but it cannot instantaneously repair the damage the venom caused. Your peripheral nerves will require time to heal. Gabriel sighed. 2 weeks was better than being dead, but it still meant significant downtime during a crucial research mission. I've been studying your antivenom kit, Dr. Zorlak continued, setting down his scanner. The molecular complexity is remarkable. Our science has always approached venom treatment from a species-specific perspective, developing countermeasures for known toxins from identified organisms. That works fine when you know what bit you, Gabriel explained. But in space exploration, we're constantly encountering new species. We can't develop specific antivenoms for creatures we haven't met yet. So your scientists categorized venom types based on their mechanisms of action rather than their sources, Dr. Zorlak concluded. Elegant, if somewhat imprecise. Better an imprecise solution that keeps you alive than a precise one that doesn't exist, Gabriel countered with a smile. Before Dr. Zorlak could respond, the medical bay doors slid open and Captain Alara Voss entered. The commanding officer of the Artemis looked tired, her normally immaculate uniform slightly rumpled. "Mr. Porter," she said, approaching his recovery pod. "Good to see you conscious. When I heard about the incident with Specimen X-17, I feared we'd be sending a body back to Earth." "So did I, Captain," Gabriel admitted, "if Dr. Zorlak hadn't administered the antivenom when he did." "I merely followed the patient's instructions," the Vrexian said. "The success of the treatment was due to the human medical technology, not my intervention." Captain Voss raised an eyebrow. "I've spoken with Earth Command about the incident. They're sending a specialized medical transport to rendezvous with us in 3 days. They want you back at the Central Research Facility for observation and follow-up treatment." Gabriel frowned. "Captain, with all due respect, I don't need to go back to Earth. Dr. Zorlak says I'll make a full recovery in 2 weeks. This isn't negotiable, Porter," the captain replied firmly. "You're the first human to survive exposure to Zalathrax venom. The research potential is too valuable to ignore." "I'm a researcher, not a research subject," Gabriel protested. Dr. Zorlak interjected, "Captain, if I may, I believe Mr. Porter's recovery would be better served here, where I can monitor his response to the treatment in the environment where the injury occurred. Transporting him could introduce variables that might compromise our understanding of the antivenom's efficacy." Captain Voss considered this for a moment. "I'll relay your medical recommendation to command, Doctor, but ultimately, the decision isn't mine to make. In the meantime, Porter, you're confined to Medical Bay until further notice." After the captain left, Gabriel turned to Dr. Zorlak. "Thanks for backing me up." The Vrexian's head tilted slightly. "My recommendation was based on medical considerations, not personal preference. However, I must admit I am curious to observe your recovery process firsthand." "Still, I appreciate it," Gabriel said. "The last thing I want is to be poked and prodded by Earth's medical division when I could be continuing our research here." "Speaking of research, Doctor," Zorlak said, "the science team has secured Specimen X-17 in a reinforced containment unit. Chief Science Officer Dren wishes to know if you recorded any observations before the incident that might explain the creature's aggressive behavior." Gabriel closed his eyes, trying to recall the moments before the attack. "I was documenting its feeding patterns. We introduced various nutrient solutions to see which it preferred. It showed no interest until we tried the calcium-rich compound. That's when it became agitated, broke through the initial containment field and struck." "Interesting," Dr. Zorlak noted. "Calcium is a key component in neural transmission for many species. Perhaps it perceived the solution as a threat or competition." "Or maybe it just didn't like me," Gabriel joked weakly. "Unlikely. Zalathrax beasts are not known for discrimination in their aggression. They attack any perceived threat indiscriminately." Gabriel chuckled despite the pain. "Doctor." Zorlak's literal interpretation of humor was something he still found endearing after 6 months working together on the Artemis. Over the next few days, Gabriel's condition improved steadily. The neural regenerative compound continued to repair the damage to his nervous system, and the pain gradually subsided to a dull ache. Dr. Zorlak ran daily tests, documenting every aspect of Gabriel's recovery with meticulous detail. On the third day, as promised, a medical transport from Earth arrived and docked with the Artemis. Gabriel was sitting up in his recovery pod, reviewing research notes on his data pad, when Dr. Zorlak entered the medical bay accompanied by a human woman in the distinctive white and blue uniform of Earth's medical division. "Mr. Porter," Dr. Zorlak said formally, "this is Dr. Helena Reeves, Chief Xenotoxicologist for Earth Command. Dr." Reeves was a stern-looking woman with gray streaked hair pulled back in a tight bun. She approached Gabriel's pod, her analytical gaze taking in his condition with professional detachment. "Mr. Porter," she said, "I've reviewed Dr. Zorlak's reports on your case. Remarkable recovery considering the circumstances." "Thank you," Gabriel replied cautiously, "though I'd prefer not to test the Antivenom kit's effectiveness again anytime soon." "That's precisely why I'm here," Dr. Reeves said, pulling up a chair beside his pod. "The kit you used was a prototype. Only 50 units were distributed to field researchers last year as part of a limited trial program. Your case represents the first documented successful use against a Class 5 xenobiological toxin." Gabriel raised his eyebrows. "Prototype? They didn't mention that during the briefing." "Standard procedure," Dr. Reeves explained dismissively. "We didn't want to bias the field data by creating expectations of efficacy or failure, Dr. Zorlak, who had been listening silently, interjected, "You sent researchers into potentially lethal situations with untested medical equipment without full disclosure." Dr. Reeves turned to the alien physician. "The basic efficacy was established in laboratory settings. What we needed was real-world application data. Using field researchers as test subjects," Gabriel said flatly. "Using cutting-edge medical technology to protect our most valuable assets, our people," Dr. Reeves countered. "And in your case, Mr. Porter, it saved your life." Gabriel couldn't argue with that, but he still felt uncomfortable with the revelation. "So what happens now?" he asked. "Now," Dr. Reeves said, "we'd like you to return to Earth for comprehensive examination. Your neurological response to both the Venom and the Antivenom could provide crucial data for refining the next generation of field medical kits." Gabriel looked to Dr. Zorlak, who remained impassive. "And if I decline?" Dr. Reeves' expression hardened slightly. "This isn't a request, Mr. Porter. Your contract with the Interstellar Research Division includes provisions for medical examination following field incidents." "I'm aware of my contract obligations," Gabriel replied, "but Dr. Zorlak has recommended that I remain here to complete my recovery. With all due respect to Dr. Zorlak," Dr. Reeves said, not sounding particularly respectful, "Earth medical facilities are better equipped to handle human physiology." Dr. Zorlak's scales rippled a Vrexian expression of irritation. "I have been treating humans for 27 Earth years, Dr. Reeves. My understanding of human physiology is comprehensive." The tension in the room was palpable. Gabriel decided to intervene before it escalated further. "What if we compromise?" he suggested. "I'll submit to whatever examinations you need to conduct here on the Artemis. You can take your samples and data back to Earth, and I'll continue my recovery under Dr. Zorlak's care." Dr. Reeves considered this for a moment. "The transport is equipped with portable medical analysis equipment. I suppose we could conduct the essential examinations here." She turned to Dr. Zorlak, "With your assistance, of course." The Vrexian's compound eyes blinked in what Gabriel recognized as agreement. That would be acceptable. For the next 2 days, Gabriel endured a battery of tests as Dr. Reeves and her team examined every aspect of his recovery. They took blood samples, tissue samples from the wound site, and conducted extensive neurological scans. Dr. Zorlak supervised every procedure, ensuring that none of the tests would impede Gabriel's recovery. "The preliminary results are fascinating, Dr. Reeves told Gabriel after completing the final scan. Your neurological system is showing regenerative patterns we've never documented before. The interaction between the antivenom, the regenerative compound, and your body's natural healing response has created a synergistic effect. Is that good or bad? Gabriel asked, rubbing his arm where the latest sample had been taken. Good, definitely good, Dr. Reeves assured him. It means the antivenom not only neutralized the toxin but created an environment conducive to accelerated healing. We'll need to study this further, but it could have implications beyond venom treatment potentially for neural injuries of all kinds. Dr. Zorlak, who had been reviewing the data, added, "The recovery rate is approximately 43% faster than our models predicted. At this pace, you should be fully recovered in another 10 days, not the 2 weeks I initially estimated." Gabriel smiled. "That's the best news I've heard all week." Dr. Reeves packed up her equipment, preparing to return to the transport. "Mr. Porter, I want to thank you for your cooperation. The data we've gathered will help refine the antivenom kits for all field researchers. Just make sure you tell the next batch they're using prototypes," Gabriel replied with a pointed look. Dr. Reeves had the grace to look slightly abashed. "Noted," after she left Dr. Zorlak approached Gabriel's pod. "Her methods may be questionable, but her science is sound. The Human Medical Division has created something truly remarkable with that antivenom kit." "We've had a lot of practice," Gabriel said. "Earth has some pretty nasty venomous creatures of its own." "Yes, I've studied your planet's biology. Fascinating diversity of defense mechanisms. Perhaps that explains why humans have developed such effective countermeasures." Over the next week, Gabriel's recovery continued to exceed expectations. The nerve damage healed steadily, and the pain subsided to occasional twinges. Dr. Zorlak allowed him to leave the medical bay for short periods, though he was still restricted from returning to duty. 9 days after the incident, Gabriel was sitting in the ship's observation lounge, watching the swirling gases of the Cygnus Nebula through the reinforced viewport. The colors were mesmerizing blues and purples dancing against the backdrop of distant stars. "Beautiful, isn't it?" Came a voice from behind him. Gabriel turned to see Chief Science Officer Dren, a Taurian with silvery skin and elongated features that always reminded Gabriel of classical depictions of elves from Earth mythology. "One of the perks of nearly dying," Gabriel joked. "You appreciate the view a bit more." Dren sat beside him, her movements graceful despite the Taurian's naturally higher gravity adaptation. "I wanted to apologize for the incident with Specimen X-17. The containment protocols should have been stronger." "It wasn't your fault," Gabriel assured her. "We're dealing with unknown life forms. Risk is part of the job. Still, I've implemented additional security measures for all specimens with potential toxicity," she said. "And I've been studying the creature extensively since the incident. Learn anything interesting?" Dren's silver eyes gleamed with excitement, the universal look of a scientist with new discoveries to share. "Actually, yes, the venom that nearly killed you, we've isolated its primary components, and there's something remarkable about its structure. Let me guess, it's extremely effective at shutting down neural pathways," Gabriel said dryly. "Yes, but that's not the remarkable part," Dren continued. "The venom contains compounds that could potentially be modified for medical applications. Specifically, targeted neural inhibitors that could revolutionize pain management during surgery." Gabriel raised his eyebrows. "So the thing that almost killed me could end up saving lives?" "Potentially, yes. We're still in the early stages of analysis, but the applications could be significant." Dren hesitated. Would you be willing to contribute to the research? Your experience with both the venom and the antivenom provides valuable insight." Gabriel thought about it for a moment. "I'm not sure how much help I can be, but I'm willing to try. As long as it doesn't involve getting stung again." Dren laughed, a melodic sound that echoed in the observation lounge. "No more stings. Just your observations and perhaps some additional blood samples to study the lingering interactions between the venom and antivenom in your system." "That I can do," Gabriel agreed. 2 days later, Gabriel was cleared to return to limited duty. His arm still bore a vivid scar where the Zalathrax's spine had pierced it, but the neurological damage had healed remarkably well. Doctor. Zorlak conducted one final comprehensive examination before officially releasing him from medical care. Your recovery is complete, the Vrexian physician declared, reviewing the final scan results. Though I recommend avoiding direct contact with venomous species for the foreseeable future. Gabriel laughed. Believe me, I plan to. I have submitted a detailed report on your case to both the ship's records and the Interstellar Medical Council, Dr. Zorlak continued. The human antivenom technology has generated significant interest among xenobiological medical researchers. Glad some good could come from my misfortune, Gabriel said, flexing his healed arm experimentally. Indeed. The Council has proposed a collaborative research initiative between human medical scientists and representatives from other species to explore broad-spectrum antivenom development further. Sounds promising, Gabriel agreed. If it means fewer people human or otherwise dying from encounters with the less friendly life forms out here, I'm all for it. Dr. Zorlak's compound eyes fixed on Gabriel with an intensity that made him slightly uncomfortable. I must confess, Mr. Porter, that when you first produced that antivenom kit, I was skeptical. In my 127 years of medical practice, I had never seen anyone survive Zalathrax venom. First time for everything, Gabriel said with a shrug. Indeed, it has been educational. To witness how quickly assumptions can be overturned. The Vrexian's voice took on a more formal tone. I would like to officially thank you for expanding my medical knowledge. Gabriel smiled, recognizing how difficult it must be for the proud Vrexian to acknowledge a gap in his understanding. And I'd like to thank you for saving my life. The antivenom might have started the process, but your care is what got me through it. Dr. Zorlak made a dismissive gesture with one of his 4 hands. I merely provided standard medical supervision. We both know it was more than that, Gabriel insisted. So thank you. Later that day, Gabriel reported to the science lab where Chief Science Officer Dren was coordinating the ongoing research into Specimen X-17. The creature was now housed in a reinforced containment unit with multiple redundant security protocols. It writhed slowly in its enclosure, its tentacles moving in hypnotic patterns. Mr. Porter, Dren greeted him. Good to have you back. How are you feeling? Like someone who's gotten a second chance, Gabriel replied, eyeing the specimen cautiously, though I'm keeping my distance this time. Understandable, Dren said with a smile. We've made significant progress in understanding the creature's biology. Would you like to see the latest findings? For the next hour, Dren walked Gabriel through their discoveries. The Zalathrax was not, as they had initially classified it, a predatory species. Rather, it was primarily a filter feeder that used its venomous spines as a defense mechanism. The calcium-rich solution that had triggered its aggressive response was similar to compounds released by its natural predators. So I basically smelled like something that wanted to eat it, Gabriel concluded. In essence, yes, Dren confirmed. We've also mapped the complete molecular structure of its venom. She brought up a holographic display showing the complex molecule. Even to Gabriel's trained eye as a xenobiologist, the structure was fascinating, intricate chains of compounds arranged in a configuration he'd never seen before. Beautiful in a deadly sort of way, he commented. Exactly, Dren agreed enthusiastically. And the most interesting part is how your antivenom interacted with it. She switched the display to show a simulation of the antivenom molecules binding to the venom. The blue compounds from Gabriel's kit attached to specific sites on the venom molecule, neutralizing its toxic effects. The antivenom wasn't designed specifically for this toxin, but its broad-spectrum approach targeted enough key sites to render it ineffective, Dren explained. It's really quite brilliant engineering. I'll be sure to send a thank you note to the research team back on Earth, Gabriel said, only half joking. There's one more thing, Dren said, switching off the hologram. Captain Voss wants to see you in her ready room. Something about a communication from Earth Command. Gabriel thanked her and made his way to the captain's ready room near the bridge. When he entered, Captain Voss was reviewing reports on her data pad. "Mr. Porter," she said, looking up, "please sit down." Gabriel took the offered seat, feeling a slight twinge of apprehension. "You wanted to see me, Captain?" "Yes, I've received a communication from Earth Command regarding your incident with Specimen X-17. She set down the data pad. "They're quite interested in your recovery and the effectiveness of the prototype Antivenom kit." "So Dr. Reeves informed me," Gabriel said cautiously. "What she may not have told you is that your case has prompted a full review of field research safety protocols." Captain Voss leaned forward slightly. "They're implementing new requirements for all xenobiological research teams, enhanced containment procedures, mandatory antivenom kits for all field researchers, and improved emergency response training." Gabriel felt a surge of satisfaction. "That's good to hear, Captain. There's more," she continued. "They've requested that you participate in developing the training program based on your experience. It would involve a temporary reassignment to Earth once our current mission is complete." Gabriel considered this. Teaching wasn't something he'd ever seen himself doing, but the opportunity to help other researchers avoid his near-death experience was appealing. "I'd be honored, Captain," he said finally. "Though I hope the training includes a section on checking containment field integrity before introducing calcium-rich solutions to unknown species." Captain Voss smiled, a rare occurrence. "I think that can be arranged, Mr. Porter. Now you're cleared to return to full duty tomorrow, Doctor. Zorlak has submitted his final medical report, and you've made a complete recovery." "Thank you, Captain. It feels good to be back." As Gabriel left the ready room, he found himself reflecting on the events of the past 2 weeks. What had started as a near-fatal encounter had transformed into an opportunity for scientific advancement and improved safety protocols for researchers throughout the galaxy. He made his way back to his quarters, passing through the ship's main corridor where crew members of various species worked together. A Centaurian nodded to him in greeting. 2 human engineers stepped aside to let him pass, offering congratulations on his recovery. A Taurian science officer gave him the traditional 3-fingered salute of respect. In his quarters, Gabriel found a small package waiting on his bed. Curious, he opened it to find a brand new antivenom kit more compact than his previous one, but with the same Earth Interstellar Research Division logo. A note was attached. "Upgraded prototype. Contains all standard components plus enhancements based on your case data. Hopefully you'll never need to use it, but better prepared than not. Dr. Helena Reeves." Gabriel smiled as he attached the kit to his belt. Tomorrow he would return to his duties as a xenobiologist, exploring the unknown wonders and dangers of the galaxy. The scar on his arm would serve as a permanent reminder of how quickly things could go wrong, and how preparation could make the difference between life and death. As he placed his old, used antivenom kit in a storage container as a souvenir, he couldn't help but recall Dr. Zorlak's words when he had first been stung. "No one survives that venom." Well, Gabriel thought with satisfaction, sometimes all it takes to change no one to someone is being prepared for the unexpected, and in the vast, unpredictable expanse of space, being prepared was everything.